You've heard me say over and over that it's super important that you get your advance directive filled out. Okay, you've sat down, you've got the sheet in front of you, and now you have to make the hard decisions. You see that it's not as simple as just checking a box, yes, I want life support, or no, I don't want life support. First of all, we have to consider a lot of different things because what we might want at 25, 35, 45, 55, each decade of our life might be different. What we're willing to tolerate, what we're willing to endure for the sake of a longer life might change based on the decade, which is one reason that I encourage people to constantly be looking back at their advance directive to make sure that they still stand by those particular choices. Another thing to keep in mind is the term life support is so broad. Are you okay with CPR but not okay with a feeding tube? Or are you okay with a feeding tube but not a ventilator? These are things that you have to consider. And then, of course, there's the details. Maybe you're okay with life support in all circumstances except XYZ. You're allowed and encouraged to write some fine print on that advance directive. Think about the qualities that make life worth living for you. For some people, it's manageable pain. For others, it's consciousness. For others, it's autonomy, being able to clean themselves. Others, it's memory care. What are the things that make life worth living for you? Finish the sentence, I want to live as long as I can. And whatever it is that you want to be able to do, let's pretend you're no longer able to do those things and there's no way of ever getting those functions back. Would you still want life support at that point? Let's clarify something also while we're at it. We're not saying that we at that point want to have the plug pulled and want to die. We're saying that if natural death is bound to occur without medical intervention, when would you say intervene? No, I want that medical intervention. Or when would you say, I think I'm going to let nature take its course? That's really what the advance directive is all about. It's saying, here's the moment that I want intervention or I don't want any intervention. And this paper will guide your medical team and your family moving forward. You can start to see how this is not a form that you should hastily fill out in a doctor's office or in a hospital when you're about to undergo something major. That's really not the time to be thinking about these things. The time is now, when you're clear-headed, when you're not in a state of crisis, to go ahead and get these things on paper and then revisit those choices every 5 to 10 years.